Me and my buddy Brian are down here off of Whippoorwill, and we have located the remnants to an old house down here. What's this place called? The John Vogel house?
Yeah, John Vogel place.
It's the old John Vogel place. Mr. Vogel had a questionable past. Ran a, what did he run down here? A children's home?
Galilean children's home.
Galilean children's home. You can Google it yourself. But we are dangerously close to the lake, as you can see there. And the remnants of the old house and outbuildings are still up here in the woods. After the demise of the Galilean children's home, there seems to be evidence down here that this place was burned. Burned.
You still see where all the bricks is like charred red.
Charred red on the bricks, yep. Yeah, I see some right here. The block.
Yeah. You see right in here?
Yeah.
All this here is charred red.
Man, that's an old fireplace, man. I think at one time it was an older structure here, and they added on a newer structure with concrete block and
you can still make out all those.
a basement.
I'm gonna go and take that old building too.
Look at the size of that old boiler. That thing weighs 2 tons, I bet.
Yeah, I tried to tip it over right there.
So, this place, the demise of this place was when? 50s?
Yeah, I think John Vogel died about 51, 52 or something like that. There's another structure back up in there.
Yep.
At least we found something cool down there.
So, this is forestry property.
Yeah, obviously here's forestry.
But it butts up against the Baptist camp.
Laurel Lake Baptist camp right up there. Yeah.
Laurel Lake Baptist camp. It's a mixture of modern stones and old stuff.
I don't see no old bottles like nowhere. No.
I'd say this place has been picked, Brian.
Oh yeah.
What you got?
That's what they originally tried to do with this concrete. But,
Oh, that's the cistern.
I don't believe it. I'm gonna throw something back over it here.
Well, right here's the corner that's been broke off.
Yeah.
But I don't know about moving that. Probably a den of snakes under it.
I don't see no old bottles.
They filled it up over time, haven't they?
Yeah. That's old cistern.
What do you think Vogel did? Came down here and bought an old home place and then over time added on to it because it's got old meets new construction.
Yeah. He bought this. He come from out of New York. He went to a college up in New York up there.
Yeah.
And him and his wife come down here, and whenever they was going through, like going to California or wherever they was going through,
Yeah.
they just seen how poor the place was around here and everything like that. And they just thought it needed
Started a mission.
started a mission down here to help the kids and stuff because there was so many kids. It's during the Depression, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy had good intentions. I think he just, I don't know. You know how some old men is.
Went sideways, man.
Yeah, they get a bunch of girls and stuff around.
Yeah.
It's about crazy.
It's amazing though.
Yeah.
We are on the way I got it figured, we're on the east side of Whippoorwill.
We're right there. I come off that point over before, right there.
Yeah.
Right down to the water and all that. And I guess I was over here probably off this edge right here somewhere because you can see right over in here, but there ain't no way to cross up there though.
Right. This is a lot more modern place right here. It almost looks like a bathhouse.
Oh, look what this is doing.
I'd be careful on that flooring, man. I don't know what this would be. Bathhouse? It's like, Brian, it's like there's 2 departments, like a toilet there and a toilet here. Crazy, man.
Man, it goes down deep in there.
I bet you that's what it is.
Oh my God.
How deep is it?
That's 15 feet under this floor.
Under the floor?
Yeah. I can tell it's 15 foot deep.
Dadgum. Don't want that to fall in.
No.
This place has been explored before. There's people that know it's here. This is a more modern construction.
I don't know, man. I never noticed it here until the other day. I've lived down here 10 years now.
Here's your bottles. Bunch of blues. There's some blues. Broken.
Oh, hell. That'd be about to look at right there. You know what?
Yep.
It's over up there, brother.
I know it. There's a lot of trash right here, bub. We are literally on the banks of Whippoorwill Creek. The old Vogel home place.
You about to drag me to these places.
Hey, back in the day, Brian, this was just a little old lazy Whippoorwill Creek cutting through the valley. Because when in the days of this operation, there wouldn't have been no Laurel Lake. I think what you've happened up on is the garbage dump that they used back behind the home place.
I used to see some garbage dumps I found down there on Whippoorwill Creek down in Brother House.
There's old leather shoes, bottles,
Brother, I've dug so much shoe leather down there.
cans.
I wish I brought my chigger digger.
Yeah, really. Here's an old boot.
Hey.
That's a kid's boot, Brian. There's a kid-sized boot right there. You see that? Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's 40s there too.
40s?
Yeah.
Well, this place went belly up somewhere around the...
No.
Huh?
To the bottom of it right there? Yeah. The rivets in it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a rivets in the bottom. That's old right there.
So there wouldn't have been a lake here when they were throwing trash in this household dump.
No.
So Whippoorwill Road would be way back over that way, back up that way.
Yeah. The old Jim Earls place would be right up here.
Jim Earls' place?
Their grave, yeah.
I thought you said he'd be up the creek. Or is he down the creek?
Oh, he'd be right here because he's right above Swing Rope, Whippoorwill.
Oh, okay. So Jim Earls' grave is down that way.
Yeah.
Jim Earls is one of the handful that did not get moved.
You see the Grove right over here? Right there?
Yeah.
Grove. It's straight across from Grove, literally. The Whippoorwill Point is where he's buried.
So Grove's around there to the right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're right on Grove.
And Jim Earls is buried right across from Grove.
Yeah.
Jim Earls, for those of you just joining us, he
1866 to 1942.
and he was buried on a cliff above Whippoorwill.
His old home place sit right down here on where the river's at. Down right there on Whippoorwill Creek.
They had him scheduled to move during the lake construction. He was one of a handful that in the 11th hour did not get moved. He was scheduled to be moved.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was scheduled. That's the reason his name appears in the Corps of Engineers report.
I was wondering what the deal was, why he wouldn't move, man.
So down here toward the edge of the creek, the best of our abilities is over here on this side was a 2-header outhouse and maybe a bathhouse right here. It was definitely downhill from the homestead. Up here's the homestead. Here's a cistern. Up the hill on the left, fireplace, which I believe was older construction. Over here, concrete block, newer construction. So I don't know for sure the dates of when the Galilean Children's Home was in operation or when it ceased. We estimate that it started sometime in the 20s and was wrapped up by the 50s in a controversy that was by far and large kept quiet. But the remnants are still here in the Daniel Boone Forest.